Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lenore Bowles and this is Life After Heartbreak. Today we're going to talk about what to do when you are struggling just to make it through the day. This is something that actually over the past maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, I've definitely been struggling. I've just been feeling off and just not as positive as I try to be, and things have been getting to me, and just life is starting to weigh a little heavy. And so I had to dig deep in that self-love toolbox that I always talk about and use the tools that I've learned to actually pull me out of the funk that I've been in and move towards back onto my true north and my path to happiness. And we're going to talk about that today. So over the past, 2 weeks or so, maybe a little less than 2 weeks, I've definitely been just feeling in a funk, and I've just been not as productive as I would like to be, and I've been just struggling in life, at work, in my business. I've just been not myself, and not that other people around me necessarily notice, but I can feel that something just hasn't been right. So I have a full-time job and I work 5 days a week. And that's been weighing a little bit heavy, and, just having to deal with a team and management and like my boss and my boss's boss, and just having to manage those emotions of dealing with other people's stuff all day, and then coming home and just being so exhausted that I don't want to do anything. And dealing with my nephew and working with clients. And, those are the things that are really important to me. Working with clients and helping to raise my nephew, who many of you know I have joint custody of. And it's just something that I am passionate about. And I'm passionate about life coaching, and I'm passionate about working with women recover after toxic relationships. And, I work a full-time job because life coaching is great, but it doesn't pay the bills at this point. And, that's okay. So I do have to prioritize that. And that's definitely important. And I want to do my best while I am there getting paid to work. But that's not a lifetime goal for me. So I have to figure out how to not let work affect my work. And my daytime job, where I go to work and work 40 plus hours, 50 hours a week, sometimes more. And I have to not let that affect my capacity to come do what I truly love. And that is spend time with my family, raise my nephew, and work with clients that I just love seeing the forward progression and the growth and the light bulb moments. But the past couple of weeks, I've just been off. And there's not been really a trigger for me to be off. Honestly, I've just been off, and there's no rhyme or reason, and there's nothing that really triggered it. I think it's just life. And we just ended middle school, 6th grade, and we just finished the school year, and now we're in summer, and so it's keeping a 12-year-old boy active, and that's been a challenge itself. And it's just a busy time at work, and I'm ramping up my business because I want to work with as many clients as possible, and just finding balance for all of that has me off. And life, I haven't had time to do the things that I want to do for myself. I like to pamper myself. I like to take myself on dates, and I just haven't had the time or energy to do that. And it starts weighing on me. I can tell when it's time for me to start taking care of myself, and it's been that time. So I've dug deep in my self-care toolkit. And I talk about my self-love toolbox all the time because it is what I dig in it when I need to, and I use the tools and the resources available to me, some that I have developed myself and some that I have gotten from other people, when I need to remind myself that I matter. And one thing that I haven't done yet, but it's on my list and I've actually already scheduled my appointment, is to go get a massage. And that's something that's really easy and simple. If you can afford to do that, to go get a massage and let someone else just pamper you for an hour. And it really just rejuvenates and like recharges me. And every time I fall asleep, like knocked out. And when I'm done, I just feel relaxed and I just feel like ready to take on the world. So it's something that I like to do. A manicure, pedicure. You guys, I have taken off my nails and you can see my little sausages because I have fat hands. But my nails are really, really damaged. So I'm trying not to put anything on them while they're regrowing and like building their strength again. And it's been tough because they keep splitting, and you know, some of them have split so bad that they bleed. So I haven't been able to go get a manicure like I want to because it just hurts to do that. So a pedicure, like go get a pedicure. I have always utilized journaling, and it's something that I do every day except the last couple of weeks. Like I have been so off. And it's so weird for me because I journal every day. I write in it every day, whether it's a prayer. Sometimes my writing is just like my prayer for the day. And it could be anything. Like, oh my goodness, this 12-year-old, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this. I will write that like, God, please help me, just like show me how to be a better parent to my nephew. And that's tough. It's challenging, especially like I went from no kids, living single, to being partly responsible for like a 12-year-old human being who has fully formed thoughts and opinions and is very stubborn sometimes. And I'm stubborn too, so that clash and like how do I deal with that? That's all been weighing on me recently, and it's totally contributing to it because now I have to worry about someone else, and it's different, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, like I wouldn't trade this for anything. I definitely want him here with us, and I want to be the person who can help guide and grow. Hopefully we're doing it right, and you know, I think I understand now some of the things my mom has said to me before, like things have popped out of my mouth where I'm like, oh God, I'm just like her. I said the same thing she said to me. So I get it, but it's tough. And I think that's been something that I've been struggling with as well. And I'm really just learning to acknowledge the fact that I'm struggling with it. And I don't really know what I'm doing. And I know that I'm never going to really know what I'm doing, but he's my kid, so I have to figure it out, and that's the path that I'm on right now. But I'm also learning that I can't neglect my own feelings, emotions, and mental stability for the sake of him. And that may have come out wrong, but what I'm saying is if I'm not okay, he's not okay. And I can see that. And I can see over the past, like he's just restless and he just wants to rebel a little bit. And part of that could be that I know that I'm struggling and that is radiating out, and he's reflecting those emotions. So I had to figure out, how do I like rein it in? How do I rein all of this in? I am no biblical scholar by any means, but I pray a lot. Like every day, all the time, really for guidance, because I'm still figuring this whole thing out. Like I'm helping other people, but I'm now at a new place where I'm figuring out like a parenting thing that's new for me. So how do I work through that, and how does that affect me as a single woman? And how does that affect my future dating life and my future husband? And all of those things are things that I'm figuring out. Like we're a package deal now, and it's great, but I'm still learning how to parent, and I'm learning how to let some things go because he's not a baby. He's 12. Although I call him my baby all the time, and he secretly likes it. Guys, he loves it. He just will never tell anyone. He loves to cuddle. He's going to kill me for telling you this. He loves loves to cuddle, like all up under me all the time. But he's a boy, and so he likes to run and play, and like he's smelly when he comes back in, and it's gross. It's so gross. And like I have to tell him to wash your hair. Make sure you clean in between your toes. Like weird things. I don't have to tell girls that. Just boys. They're gross. But I love him. So those are all things that are like contributing to my struggle right now. And I don't know. I'm working through it. So I'm using the things that I've learned, and especially with like the new parenting skills that I'm like getting every day, and like new lessons with dealing with a 12-year-old boy. And I'm like very girly girl, like tomboy / now I'm an adult and I like to wear dresses. But I was a tomboy growing up, so I get it, and I can relate to that, and we can talk basketball. And I think I shock him with how much I know. He doesn't know that I played in high school varsity basketball. So like all of those things are things that we relate to, but I have to learn to not neglect my own mental stability and my own well-being for the sake of my kid. Because if I do, he's not going to be okay. And I can't neglect my mental stability and my own well-being for the sake of my team at work, or my boss, or my boss's boss, or, you know, like my mom or my dad or my sister, or all of these people that I pour so much love and care and like attention into, that sometimes I do neglect myself. And I'm getting better at recognizing sooner before I have the break. So I haven't broken yet, which is good, because now I'm acknowledging it. So, and that's the first step, is acknowledging the fact that you're struggling. Like I knew, and I prayed about it the other day, and I was like, I'm struggling. Show me how to, like, show me which direction to go. Show me help. Show me where's the help? Just give me the sign. And I'm getting better at like being more, I don't want to say descriptive, being, I don't know, like making my prayers crystal clear. So in the past it'd be like, I'm struggling. God, help. That's it. Just help. Now it's like, I'm struggling with this. Please show me the path. These are the options that I see. Like, what's the path? What's the course? How should I go? Is this right for me? All of those things are questions that I start asking, and then I just listen, and I trust myself, and I trust that my relationship with God is good enough that I get the answers that I need, not necessarily the ones that I want, because there have been times where I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And then I do it and it works out. Say like with work, that's probably a better example. I really did not want to be a team lead, and I really loved being a trainer. Like that was right up my alley. And you can see like the relationship between being a trainer at a job and being a life coach, where you're guiding people to information and you're helping them learn and grow. That was a natural space for me, and I did well, and I thrived in that position. And I would get talked to about like being a team lead, and it's a different thing, and like you have more responsibility, and I did not want it. And I rebelled. I don't want to say rebelled, but like I, for years, maybe 2 years, just did not want it. I did not want it. And then I prayed on it, and I asked for guidance, and then I prayed some more, and then I just let it go. And I knew that I needed to. I got my answer. It was not the answer I wanted. I wanted God to tell me, like, you're good where you're at, stay as a trainer. But that's not what I heard. And so I became a manager. And it's a new challenge. And it's a very draining challenge, because at the end of the night, all I want to do is like come home and lay on the couch and pass out. But I can't do that. And I have to work with clients because that's what I want to do and that's what I love. And I have to figure out how to not let the things that I have to do because I have to pay my bills overshadow the things that I love to do. So I had to, and I'm still working this out, and I'm still figuring out how to balance and make my coaching more of a priority and being more visible and all of the things that I want to do to help as many people as possible and reach as many people as possible, to figure out how to not let the other things that are important in my life overshadow and exhaust me to the point that I just get into bed at the end of the night because I can't think about or do anything else until I like sleep and recharge. Like with my book. So, I'm writing a nonfiction book right now, and I'm working on a second book in a romance series that I wrote. And the romance series is suffering. I have writer's block, and I have readers, which I'm so thankful for them, but I have them constantly asking, and where's book two? Where's book two? And it stresses me out so much that I don't even log into that like social media account because I'm overwhelmed with it. And I have the writer's block and I don't want to disappoint. So I kind of avoid, and I know that that's not right because they're readers and they're fans and I love them for it. And I'm overwhelmed. So I'm figuring out how to get the book written, just write the damn book, get it out there and publish it. And that is by stealing moments. So when like a scene comes to me, if I gotta handwrite that bad boy and then type it up when I get a chance, then that's what I do. And just writing whenever I can is helping me get that written rather than focusing on like, okay, I'm gonna write on Saturday from 2 to 5 or from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or whatever it is. Like I'm not gonna schedule time because I just sit there and I get on Facebook and I get on Instagram and I'm doing all of the other things that don't even matter instead of just writing the book because I'm so stressed out and I know I have writer's block. And I'm also writing a nonfiction book. So this book is my journey through relationship heartbreak, toxicity, and healing, and how I actually overcame all of those things and actually tell a little bit more of my story. And I have changed names to protect people because, you know, it's not about making someone look bad. It's about sharing the message and getting people to understand the healing and the message that I've learned. It's really about those lessons and how can I share that information as much as possible. So writing that is stressful. And I think that's because I kind of have to hold up that mirror. And we've talked about like holding the mirror up and facing the things that we've allowed. And this is showing me that I allowed a lot of stuff that today would never fly for me, would never fly. And I'm thankful for the progression and I'm thankful for the changes that I've gone through. But it's hard to write this book because I'm putting it into words and it's tough. It's not easy to face the fact that and I won't even say I was stupid. I will say I was blind and I was hurt and I didn't have the foundation that some people get as a child. And relationships were not something that I was taught in a healthy way. I definitely had a strained relationship with my dad. And that, as much as I hate to say that affected me as an adult, it did. And I have another video, it's my daddy issues video, dealing with daddy issues. And it's definitely something that I had to learn and grow from and acknowledge and speak my truth. And I did that in that video. And then I've had multiple conversations with my dad, and things are actually much better. the lines of communication are open and we're using them. And that's half the battle. Like being able to communicate in a healthy way. We're not yelling and screaming and like accusing and just nonsense and nastiness for no reason. Like that is beautiful. And it's something that I'm really thankful for because it's not something that I've had. That's not a foundation I was raised on. That's not easy. That's not easy. And it hasn't been easy, but it is easier. And it's something that I hope to take into my next relationship. So now I'm at a place where I can openly communicate, and I'm willing to openly communicate with people, and I'm willing to do the work, and I'm willing to put out the effort. And I was willing to put out the effort in the past, and I felt like I gave, but I gave too much. I was not married. I was giving as a wife should, and I wasn't being my authentic self in the sense that I sacrificed my own thoughts, feelings, and opinions for the sake of someone I was not married to. And that's unfortunate. But again, that's another lesson that I had to learn, and it's something else that I have to acknowledge. And writing this book is helping do that, but it's not just my story. It is my story, but it's also the steps I took to actually let go of the hate. And when I talk about hate, I mean, I was hateful. I don't even know how I call myself a Christian at that time. Like, so hateful, so much like pain and hurt and just like downright vicious. I was just, the things I thought about myself, the things I thought about my ex, the things I thought about like the women that he cheated on me with, they were not nice things. And I say that now knowing a lot of things that I didn't know at that time. And I dodged a bullet. And I say that because I could have had a baby by this man. And I could be married to him right now. And I'd be miserable because we were not supposed to be together. And the signs were there. And they were huge. The signs were huge flashing lights in my face, and I ignored them. So that's something I had to deal with. And I've dealt with it, and I wish him all the best. I actually found out some things, and I said a prayer and I let it go because it's not for me to deal with anymore. Like, I'm free of that and I'm okay. And I get a lot of comments about, well, you say you let it go, but you're constantly talking about your past relationship. And I'm not talking about it like, I hate him, because that's not what this is about. And that's not what my coaching is about. This is what I've been through. These are the experiences I've gone through that a lot of women go through. And this is how you can start moving past that. And these are things that you can do to heal. And it's not for everyone, and that's okay. And if these videos are not for you and you feel like this method of me telling you something that happened and how I healed from it is not for you, that's okay. You are free to find a coach that works for you. And I highly encourage you, because I am not for everyone and everyone is not for me. And that is okay. And that's the maturity we talk about. And that's the growth we talk about. Because it would drive me nuts when people wouldn't like me for whatever reason. Whether it was their reason or something that I had said or done that was misinterpreted, or I just felt misunderstood. It would drive me nuts and it would make me really upset, because my goal is to be friendly to everyone. But that goal doesn't always land where I think it should. And I have learned that that's okay. And you have to be okay not being for everyone, because you will have to leave friends behind. You'll have to leave family behind. And that is tough, especially when it's family, because God love them. Not everyone on this planet is for you. And not everyone on this planet is going to have your best interest. And it's the ones that we least expect that probably don't, unfortunately. I have found that the people that I thought had my back didn't. And the ones that I didn't expect to have my back did. And it's eye-opening, and I'm thankful, and I'm glad, and I just hope to repay them for the kindness and like the love and support that they gave me throughout this journey. But it's something I can never repay because it's priceless. And you have to get better at being okay with leaving the people who are not for you behind. Some people are here for seasons and some for a lifetime. And when the season comes to an end, you have to let go. And for me, the season that was hardest to let go was the relationship. That person was there for a season. It was a long season, but nonetheless, it was a season. And I had to get good at letting it go without being hurt. And I had to not repeat the same bad behaviors and negative behaviors that I had displayed at the beginning of the relationship in a new relationship. So when I did start dating again after the relationship, it was not healthy, and I was being reckless, and I was doing things that I said I would never do again. And I was back online dating, and I was miserable, and it was bad. It just didn't work out, but I was doing it, and I kept trying. And so I'd try like this website and that website and this app and that app, and like just weird, like it was just a cycle. And I had already said, I'm not doing this again. I met my ex online and it didn't work. So I knew that online dating didn't work for me, and I did it again. And I was repeating the same cycle, and I had to check myself and say, this is not working for you. Fix you first. And not that there's anything wrong with online dating, because I do know some people who have done it and have been successful. I am not one of those people. So I had to figure out how to not repeat the same bad behaviors again. And once I started doing that and I made the choices. We're always talking about choices on this channel because it's really all about choices. You have to choose to do what's right for you. You have to choose to cut out toxicity from your life. You have to choose to wake up every day and make the choice to be positive. And you have to like not engage the crazy and not engage negative people. And I have a friend right now who's like, I don't like this new Lenore, and I'm new Lenore. I just need the old Lenore real quick. And I'm like, it's not me. Like I'm on a different path. And that's tough because I understand what she needs in this moment, but I can't give it to her. And I'm learning to grow, and I'm learning to not let things affect me. And I'm learning to keep a level head in tense situations. And even when I'm feeling wronged, I'm learning how to not like just immediately blow up. And that's beautiful. And it's great. And I just want to share that with as many people as possible. But I also need to remember that when I'm struggling, I need to acknowledge that. And I need to not ignore when I need self-care and when I need self-love. And sometimes that is just venting. And I'm not saying that you have to be positive all the time and things can't bother you, because that's not the point. That's not true. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is you can't stay in that place. You have to learn to let it go. Because the person I vent most to is my mom. Because I love her. And she's always there to help and love and support. And she listens without judgment. And she has always been this way. And she gives hard advice. Sometimes she tells me things that I don't want to do. And then she'll refer me to God. She'll refer me to God. And then me and God have to figure it out together. He has it figured out, but I have to figure it out with him. And when I'm struggling, that's not always easy. And it's not always easy to lean on the people around us. And when we struggle, sometimes we don't want other people to know that we're struggling. But we have to be brave, and we have to be willing to share that struggle with the people that we can trust. And for me, that's my mom, my best friend, and my small circle of friends. And I'm thankful. I don't always lean on them the way I should because I don't want to burden them. And we get in the cycle of I don't want to burden them with my problems. And like one of my friends has a baby and I don't want to, she has a baby to deal with. And sometimes we overextend ourselves and we get into a place where we just struggle and we don't know how to get out, and it's dark and the outlook is bleak and we don't say anything. And then we're in a cycle of struggle because we struggle every day because we don't see the way out and we don't know how to pull ourselves out. But sometimes we have to let other people pull us out. We have to lean on them for support. And that's not wrong. And that's not weak. And that's a huge misconception, that you have to be strong all the time. There's strength in vulnerability. That's a tough lesson to learn, that there's strength in vulnerability. And I am living proof, and I have friends that are living proof that there's strength in being vulnerable with those around us. And I lean on the people that I need to. Sometimes it's just mentioning to them, like, I'm just struggling right now. And that's what I'll say. Like, I'm just struggling. Sometimes I can identify what's causing the struggle and sometimes I can't. And a lot of the time, just acknowledging the fact that I'm struggling helps lift the weight, and you're able to look more critically at your situation and identify what's causing the struggle. And then you can use the tools and resources that you've learned along the way to get you back on your true north. And my true north is positivity, despite what I show, despite what I allow people to see sometimes. No one likes to be negative all the time. And we all have that person who's like always negative and never has anything positive to say. It's probably coming from a place of hurt. That's not their true self. And if you believe that that's their true self, you're pessimistic. Because I truly believe that people are genuinely good people, that people are more good than bad, more positive than negative. And if you have someone close to you that you care for that is negative most of the time, there's probably pain somewhere that needs to be acknowledged and resolved. And I would just suggest that you be there for them and gently encourage them to go talk to someone, because that's going to be the way that they start moving towards being more positive and being happy and like living the life that they love. I truly love the life that I'm living right now, and that's all by design. I chose to be more positive. I work at it every day. I do not always succeed at that, but it is something that I choose in the morning when I wake up, like today's going to be a good day. I have no room in my life for it to be anything other than positive. And that is a wonderful place to be. I will leave it there this week. Thank you so much for watching. And please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your little bell notification so you get notifications when I post new videos. I do them once a week, usually on Mondays or Wednesdays, wherever I have the most time to do some editing. But I definitely post at least once a week, sometimes twice. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!